Soki ngola yebisi yo ke ngando aza malade. Ndimela ye. Fo bangono so bavana kana mai. Na boulangerie bango ne bala musaka biso tongo esietani mama mapa sasa agosana bino ke bino watu bala musaka biso na tongo o bandeke na basoso ba manaki bala musaka biso na tongo babunga o na sana pota maranga bakolo pena mesana kosambela mikolo misakera mingona popangana mesana okende mesina ngapona lula nzambe nakomina ndako nzambe fere bana lulinga na miso ya bato abeleli na miso ya bandimi ngai mwasi na ye ya malimo natika mibali nyonso ya misuni nalandi na nga lokuta ya fereba nakomi na ndako frere alobi na lata robe ya molai natiaki tambala na moto fereba okamwisinga Angaili Yamawa, Frère Edouard. Olula kinga na ndenge na ngai te Frère Edouard. Boni yo moyimi boye. Olingi batala nga na bandi mosu te. Kaka yo moko. Mebi nyonso na mwasi na yo. Obanga nini Frère Edouard. Pesa nga confiance lokola na mi pesa na molimo. Bandimi ye. Et là on a mon frère Edouard Mabe, ceux qui va pas y aller dans le to ya famille na ngai, to ya famille na ye. Mon frère Edouard comme mawa lokola mwana moko ya moke ya 5 ans na na zui petit déjeuner na tongote. Ba frère na ba sœur. Surtout quand elle a frère Edouard.
Thank you for those who have come into the dining area. So we expect to start now. Any order. We will just decide what we need to do next. The other thing is that we had requested members to send through any questions or observations that they had, both to me and past Chairman Chris, directly either to one of us or to the both of us. So we got a couple of questions or observations from various members we will deal with. So that what that means is that we take questions. We will not. We intend not to take questions from the floor, as we had given everybody an opportunity to send their questions to us. And just to start, we want to start with the Vice Chairman's post. So we invite the two members that are vying for the
Ken Chege and Harrison Moore.
So Mr. Harrison Mwaura and Mr. Ken Chege, please come forward.
Ken Chege, JT Minor. Online. How will he?
No. Not one meter, Chairman, are you serious?
So we are informed that Ken Chege is here physically. Past Captain Harrison Mwaura is away, so he will be joining us on video. So just a quick one. Harrison Mwaura was proposed by Philip Ondieki and seconded by George Wabori, while Ken Chege was proposed by JT Minor and seconded by Mike Nene.
Thank you, Chairman. Harrison, can you confirm to us that you can hear us?
Have you heard me, moderator?
Harrison, 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 Harrison.
I can hear. Can you hear me?
Technical area, are we good? Technical area, are we good? Technical area. We're just hearing a lot of breathing. I hope it's Harrison breathing. I hope it's Harrison breathing. I hope it's Harrison breathing.
Are we good? Okay, no echo. Harrison? Harrison, can you say something? Harrison, can you unmute yourself and say something? Harrison, 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 no, Harrison, no, Harrison, no, Harrison, okay, let's, Ken, let me retire you. Let's give him 10 minutes to sort himself out. Can somebody call him and tell him to stop driving and just park in the next few minutes? Okay, let's invite the. Okay, let's invite the. Okay, let's invite the. Oh, hello. Okay, let's now invite the captain's contestants. May we have on the floor past Vice Chairman Franklin Mugendi, proposed by Harrison Moora and seconded by Philip Ondieki, and past Treasurer CPA Mike Nyangi, proposed by Ken Moora and seconded by Mogo Kamau Mokam. Let's have some silence, please. Can we have a microphone for the contestants? Morioki? Morioki, where are you? All right. So we want to welcome you to the debate tonight. Feel at home. And more importantly, answer the question you've been asked. And be precise. We'll give you 2 minutes for every question. So take 2 minutes to tell us who you are. Start with Franklin.
Thank you, the moderator, Senior Chairman Chris, the members who are present. My name is Franklin Mugendi. I'm a 46-year-old Kenyan, married to one wife with 3 kids. I've been a member here for the last 4.5 years. I'm a businessman, a security consultant, running 4 companies that are fully registered and integrated in this country. I've been a member, a director of this club for 2 years running, from 2019, 2020. 2021, no, it's 2020, 2021. And 2022, I'm your vice captain. I'm also a member of VETRAP. I believe that as a vice captain, I've been able to demonstrate the ability, the desired expectation of our members. And from my engagement with the stakeholders within and outside the club, I feel the time is right for me to take over the next challenge, which is being the club captain. And in matters integrity, in matters that are close to the members of a club, I am the champion for them, and I'm pledging going forward that you can always rely on me to be the custodian of your golf course. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Franklin. May you have Mike Nyangi?
Thank you, Senior Chairman Chris, and your partner, moderator, Jay and Gitao. My name's CPA Mike Nyangi. I've been a member of this club for almost 5 years. I've been serving as your treasurer for the last 2 years. But beside that, I've handled so many golf activities at the club. We have the club championship that I've run for the last 3 years. I also introduced the Classic League 2 years ago that has been very successful. And of course, I've also been running the club championship for both men. And this year I was given the honor to run the one for the ladies, which has been very successful. Background, I really feel that I've been involved myself in golfing activities that are critical for the position I'm applying for. I've interacted at the corporate level because I'm a career accountant with over 25 years. Therefore, I've developed a lot of networks that will be helpful for this club. I believe that we require somebody who is passionate about golf, somebody who is dedicated to the club, and somebody who is knowledgeable in terms of the golf rules, because I'm a certified level 1 RNA, and I'm aspiring to complete level 2 and level 3 for the sake of this club. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Franklin, you have previously served in a position in this club. Talk to us about your commitment towards that position.
Thank you, Senior Chairman Chris. In 2020, when I became a director for the first time, I had the privilege of sitting on the hospitality committee, hospitality committee as a member. And that's the year when we had a lot of challenges emanating from the COVID outbreak. And the club faced a lot of challenges, basically to manage the club, to manage the expectation of employees and members. And that's the year when I believe we performed optimally beyond the expectations of the membership. As a member of that committee, hospitality, we were able to rationalize the manpower, come up with the protocols and processes that were enacted to make sure that we are optimizing on all the proceeds from both the bar and the kitchen. And so as a member of that committee, I played a very pivotal role in ensuring that we delivered the expectations of members. Similarly, in 2021, as a director, I was the chairman of the security committee, which was the first time it was formed in this club. And I was able to ensure the safety of all members was protected. We were able to put in strategically surveillance systems that would ensure members' privacy and members' security was part of the top agenda. And as a chair of that committee, we did what we could have done to ensure membership was having a safe and secure environment. Again, in 2021 and 2022, I was a director as a member of the balloting committee, that's the legal committee. We were able to ballot over 250 new members. And out of all those members, generating around 22 million from the new membership, and not a single new member who joined between that period has or have been found to have any issue conduct-wise. So I can comfortably report the membership that as a member of the legal committee, hospitality committee, security committee, in each committee that I sat, we were able to live to the expectation and beyond the expectations. Lastly, as the vice captain, I was a member of the golfing committee, the handicapping committee, the competitions committee, and I advised the captain as and when my services are required. And in that golfing committee, we've been able to deliver as expected. So I've not been mentioned adversely in any of those committees that I've served, and I'm happy to say that my progression has been to add value to each committee that I've served. Thank you.
Back to you, Franklin. Recently, I had two past captains arguing about or agreeing that it is okay for you to part if you are going to green number 9 and you are on green number 18, that it is okay for you to part. Many of us know that it's not acceptable. I didn't hear you say anything about what your preparation is about golf rules and where you can get yourself quickly on board.
Thank you, Chairman, for that very critical question. Golf is a game of rules, and the rules are not made for a particular person, but for every person who partakes to that game. And as a game of rules, we are all bound to live by those rules. So, as a potential captain, and it's unfortunate that two senior captains could argue about a particular incident that is really not a rock science, because we all know what is supposed to do when you are non-green and you want to go the other green. It's not acceptable. There is no rule that tells you that you do part from one green going the other green. However, as I was being told by one of the senior captains recently, the first rule of the golf is what each and every one of us should be able to live with. Engagement with each membership in terms of the basics, re-enhancing or re-educating ourselves on the expectation of the golf course, the rules that are critical in our day-to-day engagement with the golf course, and making sure that the competition committee really takes its place within my golfing committee to ensure that the compliances, that people do not take advantage of situation when the golf rule tells otherwise. And any digression out of that expectation will be treated with the courtesy but firmness that it desires. We are all supposed to abide by those rules, and as your captain, I'm going to be the custodian of those rules. The NDC, that will now be captains, the NCD captains grouping is arranging for the training of golf rules, and it's unfortunate that for the last 2 years, we've not really been serious in sending our members to go for those trainings, which are basically like free training. And I'm going to ensure that we put more and more of our members through those paces. And every club night,
Mr. Nyangi, tell us about, you have served before, in a different position. How was your commitment to that position?
Thank you very much, moderator. Yes, I was the last 2 years. My commitment to the position has been unwavering because I have been able to chair the respective committee, and some of our key achievements that we have done in the last 2 years. One was to phase out the use of mandatory use of the card. Most of you are aware that nowadays you only require your membership number to be served. Of course, we have tried to instill some controls that is still a challenge and an ongoing process to ensure that we are able to account for our revenue as desired. And three, we have also, because of the other roles that have participated in the club as the league convener and also the convener of the club championship, we have been able to increase the revenue because of the patronage of the club. Those are some of the major achievements that we have been able to do, and also to ensure that we are compliant with the statutory requirements, both KRA and also other requirements in terms of submission of the requisite statutory deductions as the treasurer. Thank you.
Thank you. Some members asked or are just wondering, staff members, their salary, businesses and all that stuff was then under you. So our workers are employed under a contract, a 1-year contract. So if you employ them under a 1-year contract, so what then does is that it deprives them of facilities, like if they wanted to go and borrow some money. What do you want to tell the incoming treasurer to do? One of the members thought that the better way to have handled that position would have been to give them a 5-year contract, renewable every year, so that if you haven't performed correctly, then it's not renewed. But if you 5-year, you know, a chama or a co-op organization and borrow some money, you know, continue improving your life. What's your comment on that?
Thank you very much, moderator. Yes, that's an issue that has come up. I also raised the matter at the board level, but the responsibility was vested under the committee that is in charge of position is that for purpose of retaining our staff and also guaranteeing continuity service, we required a minimum of 3 years. And I know the next committee that will be looking at is something that they have to emphasize, because we have received concerns even at the bank level where they are trying to get the facilities and they are unable, because when you have a contract for 1 year, then the bank can not be able to give you a loan. So it's something that is going to be picked up, and I would also give my recommendation, because once elected, I'll also be part of the team to ensure once the contracts that are coming up for renewal, they are renewed for a minimum of 3 years, subject to also performance, because performance is also linked to your job. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Franklin, in the interest of Chapter 6 and transparency, could you comment whether you have any conflict of interest previously and in the future, and whether you've been trading with the club?
Thank you for this avoidance of any doubt. I've never been mentioned. I've never involved myself in any act that compromises my personal integrity or the integrity of those that I work with or relate with. And I've never been mentioned. I'm compliant with all the Chapter 6 requirements, and if need be, I can be able to table all the certifications that come with that compliance. Thank you.
Thank you for that. A very valid question. On my part, as I mentioned that I'm a professional accountant. I belong to ISPAC, and therefore My certification is valid as a member of the Institute. In terms of compliance with other, I'm also compliant. I've never involved myself in trade. One of the champions that had championed at the board level that we need to have some code of ethics in terms of how we relate to the club and also in terms of confidentiality of information at the board level. No one should be allowed to trade with the company, with the club, and where you have that interest, then probably you may need to excuse yourself when that discussion is being done.
Thank you, Nyangi. Frank, I didn't get the answer to the question Senior Chairman Chris asked you. Have you traded with the club or not?
No.
So a minute, I think, is enough for each one of you to answer the following question. It can be anyone, whoever is next to the microphone. There has been some complaints about cheating and indiscipline on the golf course. What's your take on that?
Thank you. My position has always been, and it will continue to be, that that is not something that should be allowed. And where it happens, then decisive action should be taken. If we need to enhance our bylaws to accommodate every conceivable act lying involved, then we have to do that. If we have to involve our caddies to make sure that they are also those who can be able to pass information about the cheating and lying, then we should do that. And as a club membership, we need to be able to fight it to the core. So no cheating, no lying should be tolerated and will not be tolerated during my watch.
Indiscipline?
Indiscipline, this is a members club in discipline, and as a member of the legal committee, we've been very firm and decisive when it comes to any issue that has been reported. And my position is indiscipline does not belong.
For example, if a member or someone came to take the course and was not properly dressed, how would you deal with that? Would you tell Moriuki that if people are not dressed correctly, they shouldn't take the course? Or would you send some people to go and pick him out of the golf course? Why would he or she come improperly dressed? How should people know how they're supposed to dress?
Okay, good enough. I recently raised that issue, and that led to the code of dress pin up being put at the starters box because it was a big concern for me. And as a captain, I do not run away from responsibility. So in the first instance, membership should be told with no uncertain terms that they should abide by the dress code and other etiquettes that are expected on the course. And if they go contrary to them, then it's just like that mistake is the one that you stop and act. You don't wait for it to continue, but you stop and act.
Thank you, Franklin. Mr. Nyangi, on cheating and indiscipline.
Thank you very much for that question. In one of my value proposition, I've mentioned that I would want to engage members in terms of observation of the rules that govern the sporting activity. In that discussion, we'll be discussing the issue of observance of some of these rules. For me, cheating is unacceptable, and people have to change the way they have played golf. If there are reported cases that are going to be reported during my tenure, we will deal with them firmly as a golfing committee. There shouldn't be any room for cheating. So this is just a warning to the people who could be involved in the vice that during my tenure, we will be firm. We'll encourage golfers to make reports of any incidents, whether they're in the football or something they have been able to observe, even caddies who report, we will be able to deal with those cases firmly. Thank you.
Okay. The issue about indiscipline is is a wide area. Is it the feeling or the knowledge of the either of it and discipline and and the rest of the staff, what are they're supposed to do when they go to the golf course? Are we letting new golfers who are not yet ready through the processes of a professional get to take the course, and then therefore we have all these problems around the golf course?
Thank you very much. As I'd mentioned, is that we want this club, and especially the members, because this is not restricted to the new members who are joining the club. Even the older members, we find that there are cases of indiscipline, and therefore my proposition, as I'd mentioned, is that we want to engage external guys on a monthly basis to ensure that members are well appraised in terms of the rules, and therefore, so that when we deal with any indisciplined case, then we are dealing with the case as a result that members are well informed of their expectations when they take to the course. So that's the case, that's an issue that I want to deal in family, whether it's a dress code, whether it's an issue of speaking on phone on the course, or whether we have guys who are slow and they don't want to give the way, or whether there are guys who are, it's a mandatory call hole, and they're not calling the rest. Those are the cases that are prevalent here, but I can assure you we will be able to firmly deal with them as a captain through my golfing committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Franklin. 1 minute.
Thank you, moderator. Two things stand out for me when it comes to indiscipline, and one might have been the cause of it. We've seen a lot of commercialization of our golfing, where people are hitting the golf course purely to make some commercial gains out of it, expose people. I mean, you can create a thief even if someone is not a thief. So at times we need to manage how these commercial issues are being managed within the course mentorship program. A mentorship is where the new members joining are supposed to be attached to a senior member of the club just to be taken through the induction.
So it wasn't tricky to get very many SMSs coming through. So we have many SMSs coming through. We are deliberately staying away from asking some of the questions. So when one question is asked by 5 people, we need to ask. So Franklin, just to make people happy, do you know who owns the security company that secures our club?
Yes, I do.
Is that Franklin?
No, it's not.
Thank you very much.
And finally, on our general question, how will you go about it and how will it be financed?
Thank you, moderator. I have some 3 key issues that projects that will define my term. One is a completion of irrigation on hole number 5/14. There is also the investment, and finally is to ensure that the course is well maintained in terms of the equipment that are required to run the course. And finally, one thing that I find also very key is not a project, but on day 1, I will be able to set up a greenkeepers committee that will be charged with the responsibility of reviewing how the course is, even in terms of the indexes, because the rating had been done, but the index keeps on changing, depends on how the hole is difficult. That will be very key for me, a greenkeepers committee that will be charged with the responsibility of reviewing the entire course. Thank you.
Franklin?
My 3 initiatives, once I assume the position of the captain, I'll first of all go for the low-hanging ones, and that is leveling the tee boxes, especially some which are quite uneven, especially the one for the men. They don't require much of input in terms of cost, so that one will be done within a very short time to make sure that members enjoy the tee boxes the way they are supposed to do. Secondly, in partnership with a few members who've shown willingness to support me, we're looking at having a water hazard. We already have some water, is it a sewage or whatever it is, that it cuts across number 17, number 8, all the way down to Kirigiti area. There's a member who has promised that we are going to embark on a feasibility study to see if we can be able to create a water hazard there. And if that is going to happen, then that will become another initiative that we're going to make this club a better place to be. The third one is to try and see if we can do, even if it's 100 meters of the perimeter wall, from the one that ends somewhere near the tee box of number 9, and bring it all the way to at least a certain amount to ensure the safety and security. And going forward, funds arriving from the members' initiative, then we can also be able to finish that one and close the year with it. Thank you.
Mr. Nyang, you didn't tell us how you'll sponsor or facilitate the irrigation project.
I'm the treasurer, current treasurer, and some of the provisions have already been made in the budget. But in the event that probably they don't succeed, I'm also a mobilizer, and already we are in discussion with some of my teams on how we can be able to fundraise for some of those key projects in the second quarter of this year.
Okay. Time is moving fast. We have many positions to interview, if you like, to call it interview. So we'll try and move this very quickly. For 1 minute, CPA Nyangi. There is a question on the 2.5 million paid for irrigation had not been budgeted for last year. As treasurer, how was it approved, without members' indulgence?
Thank you very much for the questions. We had sat as a board and agreed that because this was also a critical project, and it was part of the strategic plan that had already been envisaged, and therefore we found it proper not to leave some of the courses not irrigated. Of course, we would have spent more, but because of the limitation of the cash flow, we couldn't do one of the greens, one of the fairways, and therefore we say that would go to the request as part of the budget. But we take responsibility as a board because it was a board decision to ensure that the course is partly irrigated.
Just a rejoinder.
Activities that were envisaged to do, but we had a challenge in terms of debt because we will see the financials tomorrow. And therefore, some of the projects that had been intended to be done, we had the issue of the green, that was one of the greens was supposed to be done, irrigation, because it was part of the cost budget. Thank you.
Thank you. One more question for you, Nyangi, on the money side. I'm not sure how many millions it was, but understandably, some 500,000 this financial year has been paid. How do you deal with that?
Thank you very much. That's a very important question. We remember that during last financial year, it had happened some years back. But during our tenure as the supporting documents, and I was able to advise the board that this transaction was done within, and there's no way we would be able to escape with somebody who has already supplied the club with beer over several years, and the debt was outstanding, that he was supposed to be paid monthly. But because of the cash flow, we weren't able to pay as expected, but we were able to pay the $500,000. That was also approved by the finance committee and the board level. So it was something that was above the board. Thank you.
So just to repeat what you've just said, just for clarification, so it was a board decision?
Yes, it was a board decision.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for turning up and in good time and for your discussions. We wish you well. But as a senior captain seated here, the reason you're asking about discipline and cheating, you don't need to take all matters to a disciplinary committee. The captain has powers to make you to bring back discipline in this club. And wish you well. Thank you. Clap for them.
Okay. Thank you very much for your patience. Thank you for your patience. We'll try and move a little faster. We recognize that we spend about 40 or so minutes. So we'll try and chase it a little bit more. Just to throw in a little bit of something different, we have decided to do Lady Director next.
So we invite Dogora Baker. We invite Jean Kanyi, Wanjiru Karume.
So we have Jane Kanyi up on the. She was proposed by Wanjiru Kiame. Is Brenda around? Not Brenda, Shiro. Shiro Thuku. Shiro, are you online?
Organize. This is dead. It's dead. Just that.
Yes, I can. And can you see me?
Yes, we can see. We can't hear you.
Hello? Can
Hello?
you see me?
Say something so that we can. Shiro.
Hello? Can you hear me? I seem to be having problems with sound. The sound was very clear earlier, and now it's...
Members, we propose we take a 5 minutes break so that
The issue is
we are the moderators, eh? Yes. Respect that, please. Okay. Jane, we'll have to retire you for a few minutes. for the chairman's position. Sorry for the interruption. So we'll invite Philip Ondieki, proposed by Geoffrey Wafore and seconded by Moko Kamau Mokam. Next we have Wanjiko Ithondeka, who has been our secretary, proposed by Lennox Motua and seconded by Mike Nyangi. And lastly, we have Jenga Mbogwa, past captain, proposed by Patrick Amoge and seconded by Newton Mwangi.
Welcome to the debate floor, three of you. I wonder whether the technical team has sorted out the microphone. So as they do that, maybe what I could do, because we are not going to talk at the same time, I hope that you are around when we did the introduction. We hope to give you 2 minutes for every question we ask you. And that for those who came later, all the questions that we will ask either came from you or were suggested, so we will not allow questions from the floor. So I will give you my microphone, and what I would like you to do for us is to take 2 minutes each of you, and just tell us who you are. I want to take it differently this time. After you tell us who you are, if you have previously served in any position in the club, tell us about that and how your commitment to that, towards that position. So let's combine the two things within the 2 minutes: who you are and what you have served before. Thank you. We'll start with Mbogwa.
1, 2, 1, 2, mic testing. So good evening, members. Thank you, Senior Chairman Gitau, and your co-convener Chris Keo. My name is Senior Captain Jenga Mbogwa. 45 years. I'm a BCom graduate with CPA qualification. I don't practice as a finance person, but I serve for the last 8 years as a finance director for a Swedish multinational. And I also run a successful business in construction materials. If I look at my past service, I have served this club for about 6 years. I started as director in 2014, and I served as vice captain in 2015. I served as club captain in 2016, and thereafter I took up the role of junior convener on a voluntary basis, based on my passion to develop the club's junior program. And in 2019-2020, I was the chairman of the development committee that coordinated, discussed, and oversaw the launch and the approval by members of the first ever strategic plan and master plan for the club. If I look at my track record in terms of performance, I think I've been passionate all through. This is my home club, and I am very committed to this club. This is my home club. My handicap is in this club. I'm also a member in Muthaiga, but this has been my home club since 2010. I joined in 2010, by the way. And I think if I look at my passion for golf and for leadership, I'm a mature leader. I have served in senior leadership positions in two multinational companies, and that is where I'm still serving. So I've gained a lot of experience and insight in matters leadership. I'm a hands-on person, I'm authentic, I believe I'm a fair leader, and I'm a firm leader and decisive. And those are some of the attributes that I believe make me fit to become the next chairman of the club. I think overall, in the positions I have served, allow me to just use an example of the development committee. It was a very difficult period for me because the strategy committee is not a committee of the board. So it is a collection of members who voluntarily come to the table and join hands. And I was able to steer that committee during a very difficult period to be able to come up with a credible strategic plan. So I think overall I can stop there, but I believe I have the passion and the drive, and I'm ready today to serve as your next chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Philip?
Good evening, members. I'm Philip Ondieki Nyarieko. I celebrated my birthday yesterday. I'm now 47 years old. Basically, I'm an insurance person. I've sold insurance for the last 20 years. That's what I do. So I've interacted with a lot of people. And that's my work, to interact with people and understand their issues. So I joined Kiambu Golf Club towards the end of 2015. So I could be now, I think, nearing 7 years. And I've served for the last 4 years in various posts. I started as a director, then vice captain, then captain, and now I'm the vice chairman. As the director, I was able to contribute to the club. There are some of the changes that we did, specifically in our kitchen. We were able to put the hood that is there that releases the smoke out, and also work on the shelves. And then when I became the vice captain, I really worked with my captain to look who is now the chairman, Mr. Wafuri. We were able to look for sponsorships, and I assisted him on the Wednesdays. We had very lively Wednesdays. We always had sponsored events all the Wednesdays for that year that I was the vice captain. Then in my tenure as the captain, at least I contributed a lot to fairway maintenance and the greens. And I had the signature project of the trees. We planted a lot of trees, which are now catching up, and I believe this course in the next few years is going to be beautiful because of the many trees that we planted, so that you can witness the trees that are falling down, and at least there's no problem because now the trees that we planted are going to grow up and replace that.
Philip, 2 minutes are over. If you would just like to summarize. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, moderators and members present. My name is Wanjiko Ithondeka. I have served this club as the honorary secretary the years 2021 and 2022. Professionally, I am an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I have been so for the last 18 years. I am a private practitioner and I run my own firm. I have other professional qualifications. I am a member of the Chartered Institute of the Arbitrators, and I have so been for the last 2 years. I had served as a member of the Development Committee under the chairmanship of my fellow competitor, the strategic plan of this club. And I believe I am able to continue to bring it to fruition, because The strategic plan was a collation of ideas from members who have been here for many years and some of those who are new. And I think the club is ripe for growth through that strategic plan. I would like to midwife. I believe I'm able to do that. While serving on the board, I have been a member of committees. I was also lucky to serve on the first, I believe, security committee that was formed in the previous board of 2021. And we came up with ideas, again, under the chairmanship of Mr. Mugendi, that have helped the club develop security issues and formulate processes and policies that we hope to implement. I believe leadership is really service. And I'm willing to serve the club, the people. I'm willing to VAT on the subscriptions. In that matter, I was instructed by the board of Senior Chairman Tim Kihara. Let me begin and advocate. In the first instance, I acted for the club in a matter of Kiambu Golf Club versus Commissioner of Domestic Taxes. That was a matter in which the club had been levied VAT on subscriptions that had been paid to the club by new members. The club decided to challenge that decision.
Recording in progress.
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 Decision.
Recording in progress. Recording in progress. Recording in progress.
Are we okay now? Okay.
Yeah.
So so yes, I acted for the club in Kiambu Golf Club. So yes, I acted for the club in Kiambu Golf Club.
Mute everybody.
Members, if anyone within the clubhouse is on Zoom, please exit, because those are some of the things that are causing conflict. If you are on Zoom using your phone or another device, please exit. Thank you.
Can I give it a try again? Okay, so yes, I acted for the club. The club challenged the decision of the Commissioner of Domestic Taxes to levy VAT on subscriptions that had been paid the Commissioner of Domestic Taxes. The matter is now on appeal. The Commissioner appealed the decision. In that matter, I have not been. This year, I was requested by the board to act for the club in a matter where our file or our records at the lands office were not available for purposes of renewal of the land lease. And we had to move the court to compel the registrar, the land registrar, to produce our records, and the county government to proceed with our application for renewal of the lease. In that matter, I billed the club, but I billed a negotiated fee. Other than that, I have not acted for the club, and I do not do any other business with the club, other than those two matters.
Personally, I've not done any business with the club, and I'm not intending to.
All right, in my case, I think I have done business with the club in the past, with my construction company. I want to confirm without a shadow of doubt that my dealings with the club have been above board, and I have delivered on the basis of an LPO, which is provided by the club, and the records are available for anybody who would want to audit. But I have since made a personal choice since a few months back not to do any business with the club going forward.
Thank you. But we'll encourage Wanjiku to continue doing. What's your position on a chairman serving for 2 years?
My position is pretty clear, and it comes from the discussions that we did have in the strategic plan. I think in consultation with the members, because we did a process where we sent a survey from members. So the ideas that came from members is really what informed our choice to be able to drive some of the motions you have seen in the past. So this motion was born from the intent of creating a bit more time for a sitting chairman to be able to execute and be able to be successful in the projects that actually are in the strategic plan. So members felt that 1 year is probably too short, and given that, for example, we have to think about how to fundraise, we have to go through the process of looking for vendors, designing projects, communicating, getting approvals from members. By the time you start to execute, there's very little time left. So that is what informed my position today, and I ran the motion in the last AGM to move the chairman's tenure from 1 year to 2 years. So it was anchored in the discussions that came from the strategic plan through the development committee. I support, yes.
My position, I actually oppose the 2 years. And even in the last voting, though I lost, I voted for 1 year for the chairman. Reason being, any projects that we are doing as the board, it's not an individual affair. Like for instance now, we are renovating this club, if the members passed the motion, and it was started by Mr. Wafuri. But I believe Wafuri believes that us who we left in the office, and whoever maybe join the office, is capable to continue with the project and finish. And he will also be there as the immediate chairman. Because of the tradition of the club, that is transitioning from the way it has been, I believe 1 year is enough, and if you have not finished your project, it can be done by the rest of the members. Thank you.
I support 2 years, but qualify that it is 2 years for a single term. So that once a chair has served for 2 years, he is not eligible to sit on the board again. For the simple reason that if you could not advance and complete the projects that were before you in the 2 years you were given, then I think really there's no more time for you. And also, purely for purposes of continuity, it makes it easier to complete projects and to give guidance when you have been on the board a little longer. A year is a little bit short, in my respectful opinion.
Thank you. Let me just indulge you with Senior Captain Mbogwa. You've just talked about the strategic plan, and you said that the board needs to follow the strategic plan which you're involved in creating. So once you serve your 1 year, in the following year you become an ex-officio of the board. So why should your chairman be 2 years?
That's a good question. I think effectively what you are saying is that the retiring chairman actually sits on the board for 2 years. But you will also agree with me that their level of influence is actually limited to advisory, because you have a sitting chairman who is now the executive leader of the board. And if you look at practice, you will see that also the commitment levels drop when you stop being chairman and you become an ex-officio. So you're not really, driving and giving your all to the board. But if you have a chairman who then serves for 2 years, they're legitimately in office, they're empowered to drive the board and make decisions and make a difference within those 2 years. That's how I see it.
Wanjiko? Oh, yeah.
To respond to that.
Sorry? Oh, same question. I would say that if we interrogate the meaning of ex officio, it means just by virtue of the office you hold. So that an ex officio member sitting on a board really is limited in terms of the participation they can make to the board. So that in as much as the immediate past chair sits on the board, his influence on that board is limited. And therefore, my supporting the need for him to sit for 2 years for 1 term.
I'm just looking for a way to frame members' question, opinion, concern. I'm torn in between. So, who is wondering, what are we as Kiambu Club? We definitely don't have a field where we play rugby or football or netball. We are not very serious about our pool or snooker. We park in where some of the best tennis courts in Kenya that were only rivaled by Nairobi Club seat is where we now park. So what are we? Are we 90%, if you like, to look for figures? Are we 90% or are we not 90% golf? So if we are, it's okay to have a chairman, but should it be the golf captains who have a 2-year term, or should it be the chairman? What's your view? Mbogwa, start.
I'm recorrecting my thoughts. I think we have to look at it in 2 ways. So we are coming from a past where strictly this club has been, golf has dominated as the main activity. And I know previously, of course, there was tennis, there was squash, but today in the recent past, what you find is that we only have golf as a main event. Now the future has to look different because we have children. We're creating a club for the future, a club that we're going to bequeath as a legacy to our children, and therefore we have to look beyond golf. because there are very many opportunities to have other members. And we're also getting members who actually don't want to play golf. They would want to do other things, like become social members, go to the gym, play squash if it's there, go to swim. So I believe that with that futuristic view, then the issue of whether it should be the captain or the chairman is sorted, because then the captain is only responsible for golf, while the chairman has oversight over all matters of the club. So he's the ultimate leader, and for that reason, I think.
But Mbogua, so I'm sorry to interrupt you. So I don't think that you are very confident that there are other activities that can come and overturn the 90%, so that we start saying golf is 50 or 40 and we have something else or two other things that are 60. You are the junior convener, and well done for what you're doing. I see very serious activity on golf for juniors. I think the current list for the training that's coming is probably somewhere around 20 something children already confirmed. So that's very nice. But you are leading that initiative of the junior golf. So you are making the club even more than 90% golf.
Okay, thank you for that and for the compliments, appreciated. I think what I'm saying is, yes, the approach that, for example, US Kids, which is influential in training of golf to kids, is that create interest.
One of the biggest movers of Kiambu is golf.
Reason why it should be 2 years. And there are so many members who also want to serve. So I don't see why I should serve for 2 years and not give, we have different talents. I believe another person will come in and come with a different leadership style and maybe offer more value to the club.
Thank you. Wakili, what's your view about that proportion? The captain and chairman, and therefore, if anyone would get...
When we carried out the taking of the views from the members, the original feeling actually was that the entire board served for 2 years, a single term of 2 years. And when that was floated and opinions taken, there were varied opinions, and it was felt that, especially for the captain, 2 years would be too onerous. It was felt that it's a very heavy job. And then the captains, at least the captains who I believe were spoken to, felt that 2 years would be too much. So I agree that this club is largely a golfing club, but I believe that is a position we have found ourselves in. That is not what we were. We have a squash court, we have a tennis court, and we have a pool area that we do not utilize. So I think we ought also to return to what we were, because the facilities are there. Granted, golf will occupy a very large section of what we do as a club, but I think the other activities for which we already have the facilities ought to be revived. In summary, I believe a board of 1 term, 2 years would work perfectly. That motion was floated, it was rejected for the reasons that captaincy is too heavy for 2 years. That's the only reason. The chairman passed at the motion that was moved.
Thank you. Now, for you, Wakili and Jenga, will I begin by saying that due to the reason that you've not as chairman, now you're going for chairman, and our lady Wakili has been secretary, doesn't want to be vice chairman first and wants to be chairman, is the reason that is pushing you to support the motion of being chairman for 2 years? Would I be wrong?
You want me to go first?
Yes.
No, I'm not going for chairmanship because I will serve for 2 years. I am going for chairmanship because I have the competencies, I have the capacity to serve. It happens that I will serve for 2 years, but I will do just as well for 1 year.
Okay, thank you for that question, Chris. Do something and become world class, you have to benchmark. If you look at the trend, even through other clubs in the country, you will find actually that there is no vice chairman position, and the chairman position is for 2 years. And I think there is wisdom in that. What people offer is more important than tradition. That's my take.
Thank you. Final questions for you from the panel here, before we go into the specific ones that have been sent to members. So, in that order.
A bit different, because I'll tell you that my candidature was based purely on passion, and what unlocked my mind to come back and serve is basically the level of service in this club. So the F&B service is what really I said, if I'm a member who loves this club, I will not accept that level of service. And I said, let me not sit outside and complain. Let me go in and see what I can do to fix it. So my first agenda and priority is enhancing the experience of members. Because I believe we have to go back to the basics. We don't need to spend money. We need to look at how do we enhance the experience of members when they come to the club. That for me is the first. Starting the right ones, look at the process of sourcing, recruitment, training, induction to make sure that we get the right service in the club. On the backdrop of that, we will increase patronage, we will increase our revenues and cash flows, and based on that, we can then be able to now talk about other projects. So there is a project which has also been, because that also will contribute to increasing patronage and making the brand of the club attractive to our catchment area, which is quite rich. So if I focus on those two areas, course, so that when members come, they can have a good experience on the course. All those taken together should be able to increase our cash flows, and we can be able then to start looking at priority projects that we can actually be able to finance, either in-house or look for creating funding either within the club from members or without the club, that is outside the club, with willing partners. Yeah? And I believe if I start there, then it will be much easier to implement some of the priority projects that members want to see from the strategic plan. Finally, in and improve wellness of our members. If you look at the average age, we are an aging club. And while we have brought in a lot of newer members, I think that is required and it's urgent. So I would prioritize the gym and wellness program. And then we want to make the club vibrant by providing kids activities that to bring parents to the club and again increase our cash flow. And finally, communication. Today, one of them is the gym. I know there are no funds, but we have identified a place whereby we can have a makeshift gym whereby we will be able to do at least aerobics and have some few machines so that it's there and working for the members, for the sake of the members who maybe don't have time to play golf. In my manifesto, I also talked of other sports, like I'm going to enhance the snooker, I'm going to buy a table tennis golf at the moment.
Captain, how do you handle, or how do we handle green fees?
Green fees are supposed to be paid by any member who is not reciprocating, who is not in a reciprocating club, and I believe that has been happening. We have always pushed Morioki to make sure that nobody enjoys our fairways without paying green fees.
So are you happy about how that process has gone on while you were captain? Or did you think there were areas where not all the green fees made it through the door?
Yeah, there could be some loophole here and there, but we always pushed for 100% payment of green fee. And I'm not aware whether there are people who are enjoying our facility without paying green fees. And my position is that any member who is not reciprocating should be able to pay green fee.
Okay. Wakili, hold on.
Just before Wakili gone, could Ibrahim Mugambi surrender the hosting rights back to club debate user, if you can hear us? Can proceed, Anjiko?
I think my sole project, which I'm very passionate about, would be just to improve the ambience of this club. And I have reasons for that. I believe part of what we are suffering is because we do not have sufficient patronage. We are not generating revenue enough to meet our needs. And in the board I have served, immediate board that will be outgoing tomorrow. We have executed the mandate through the strategic plan of proposing renovations to the clubhouse, which I believe will be the beginning of a change in ambience in the club. And we are hoping that the members will be agreeable to the levy. But if not, if the members for one reason or the other disagree with the levy, I still believe that with prudent management of the revenues we make, we can still change club. That will be my biggest project. I would want for us to improve other sources of income. We need to create more revenue streams. We have in the immediate former board and the previous one, the two boards I have sat in, we have tried to be as creative as possible. We, in the board of 2021, we introduced the range bar, where we were hoping that it would be a separate source of income. That has been underutilized. We need to revamp it because we did use our monies to develop it. We have a growing number of lady members who, if they're not golfers, are not catered for, because some of them still want to. That would be something I would want to take up. Lastly, I think we need to also sensitize our staff to own and belong to the club, because then they improve and they improve on their service delivery, and we get better revenues and better patronage from the club by the members. Thanks.
Thank you. Wakili. So we've taken a little longer in your area because chairman is going to run with everything of the club. So we wanted to throw in as much input as we have received from members and also give you enough time beyond the 2 minutes per question, so that you can deliberate a little more on what you plan to do. Now, the reason challenging when they come through WhatsApp to understand what maybe a member is trying to find out. So we may not be exactly 100% sure to frame the question on our understanding of what the member may have meant. okay, so have a question, put it together. Because we also wanted to be as professional as we can, yet still find a way to ask the question. So the question is, based on your corporate engagement, what is your experience in dealing with your subordinates or the people who serve you? Maybe I could repeat it if you want. And as I said, we went to good schools. I can promise you that. You know, I and Chris tried to put it as best as we could. I didn't do any. I just did general English. You know, never went to these other guys who are doing. So, based on your corporate engagement, what is your experience in dealing with your subordinates and or people of service to you? Which means the same, subordinates, people of service to you. Just answer it the way you...
Thank you, Chairman. I will attempt to, where I work, it means a body corporate. It could be a club, it could be anything, you know, that's my understanding of corporate. So I think it's pretty obvious that you have to be respectful, because also if you look at the rules of national justice, they demand of us, we have a Bill of Rights in the Constitution that demand of us to respect other people's rights and to be fair. So if I'm looking at the people I work with or people who are underneath me, the first thing I would do is to be a fair leader, because I'm in an influential, be very clear in my communications of my expectations as a leader, and make sure that these people are supported and feel support, is to make sure that there is a cordial relationship between the two levels, and making sure basically that everybody is comfortable to work with each other. And for me, I think the most important fundamental aspect is respect.
Thank you. We had questions for Philip and our Honorable Secretary, but we never understood them and we could not quantify them or have facts. So we've chosen to ignore. The only one we struggled with is for the senior captain. Now I want to give you a chance as contestants, if you have any question for one another, this is your chance, and then I'll give it to senior chairman to end it all, if you have.
Thank you very much. Maybe I could like to ask my friend and my colleague, Mr. Njenga Mbongwa, during his tenure when he was, I can see in his CV, he rose from director, vice captain, captain. I am just curious on why he didn't continue with the leadership of the club.
Thank you, my very able competitor, Bwana Odieki. I think at the time, going through the ranks in corporate, so I didn't have time in my hands, and I also was expecting to go abroad, but unfortunately that did not come through. So I think overall I did not have time on my hands to continue serving, and that's why I chose to first concentrate on my career. But as I have said, right now I am ready and available to serve.
Anyone?
I have no question.
You have no question. So thank you very much.
Sorry, before Senior Chairman concludes the debate for the chair, can you have some silence, please? So you have two of you who have been serving in the previous board. And in the previous debate, we asked a question about the payment of a contested alcohol supply bill. So like either of you or both of you to confirm, was the payment of that bill a board decision or not?
And we tasked Mr. Nyangi, who was the treasurer and is still the treasurer, to look at the bills were genuine. And he gave us a report that the bills were genuine. All that was required was supplied. The bill was genuine.
Sorry, Philip, it's a straight question. Was it a board decision or not? We don't need the details. So
okay, it was
Nyangi did his job, presented a report, blah, 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 discussing the board.
Chairing the board, and therefore it is okay to feel like some seats are carry more responsibility than others. So we are going to shorten the other interviews as much as possible so that we can allow the club to make some money from you guys buying drinks. Musikae tu namna hiyo tu na hamununui kitu. We need money. So I thank the three of you for availing yourselves. I don't know, for me, I will tell you something, personal opinion. I have been to many golf clubs, here, abroad, everywhere. When I was a golf captain in 1999, believe it or not, Philip, I went to various places, during my work abroad, and I used it as an opportunity to go to golf clubs of Muzungus in Holland, in the US, in South Africa, many places. And I went and told the office, like the way you could go to our office outside here, that I'm a visiting golf captain. And because of the way the traditions go, I was always allowed to come into these private clubs. And I felt very nice. I'm sorry if you didn't do it. The incoming team, Nyangi and Freddie, if you become captain, Frankie, if you become captain, make sure you use your captaincy to go to other clubs outside there. They will open the door. So where am I going with this? I have seen very nice designs about how we are going to improve our club. Ambience, the look. We can't stay like this old stuff. And members, I challenge you. You must pass that vote for us to pay 10,000 bob a quarter, so that we can change this club. And we will get many people coming to join this club. And you can ask for more money. Don't ask for 150. Ask for 500,000 as a start. Don't we all know how developments are coming up along Kiambu Road and the periphery? Proper homes, 20 million, 25 million, 30 million. Those are the people you want to be our members, isn't it? But if they come here and find here we are Stone Age, how will they join this club? So please, I urge you, please support it. I am glad to hear from the three of you that it is one of the things that you are going to prioritize. Prioritize that. For me, that would be my take. Prioritize discipline, and this club can go very far. I wish the three of you all the best. Tomorrow is D-Day. Have a good evening.
Modiuki? Okay, members. Let's have some order. We are now going to invite the first contestants. I've seen our captain Harrison has just checked in. So we are going to invite contestants for the vice chairman's position. And I'll call them so welcome again, Mr. Ken Chege, proposed by JT Maina Pondiek and seconded by George Wafori.
Okay. Captain, are you still the captain? Thank you for driving on and making it in time. We decided to ask Ken to step down. It's ample time for you, which they did. And because of that, we are not allowing questions from the floor. Position before in the club?
Sorry, the position. Thank you.
Okay. So maybe I'll do it just a little bit different. Now, Chris called chapter 6. And I think the main meat.
I convinced the board that was there then that we need to go solar. Your offer is the best, price-wise. The terms of payments was the best. So kindly do for us the project.
In our club.
Thank you very much for that question, moderator. As I explained before, as I was introducing myself, I said I'm an accountant by profession. I have, as a member of this club, first of all, I have been very disciplined in terms of paying my subs, and that's why I qualify to be here today. Second of all, I would like to say that I have done a few projects in this club which I was in charge of, and I believe we have not had any queries in those projects, and we have been able to complete.
So the question...
Anyway, involved in this club, but I would say that I have been able to end with the staff that was doing it, and I don't think there's been any complaint after that. I think basically I have the staff matters in as a forefront, because without staff then...
Thank you very much for that question. The vice chairman of the club for the last 2 years, that the board, the chairman of the board there decides to embark on. Being in charge means you're capable of handling money. I can take care of finances and handle those finances if given a chance. About the staff, I have worked very well with the staff on the course, led by Otieno. I don't think I've...
And Ken, in your next interview, leave your wives alone. You don't need to... Hey, we are here.
hall, mainly because we do not have good furniture. So every time you hold a tournament, you have to set aside a budget for the deco. Once we have good furniture, we can channel that money to the clubhouse.
Thank you, Lady Captain. Having been there before, I know that being a director is nothing compared to being a captain. Because then being a director, you are doing a lot of stuff together with the rest of the board. Being a lady captain is a lot of work. However, just for reassurance, somebody said, and I almost answered for you, you have your hands, your plate is full. You have the city's county assembly, you have your businesses, then you get elected, director, lady director Kiambu. Just assure members that that's not a big deal, that being a lady captain takes more than 60% of what you'll be doing. Just your take.
Yeah, I think it never gets too busy for a determined leader. I managed to be a lady captain while I was still nurturing my factory, because I'm a manufacturer. And I think, actually, the lady director is an easier task than a lady captain, because it meant, being a lady captain meant getting tournaments, representing ladies in the KLGU, you have to be very visible in other clubs. So I think basically, lady director, I'm looking at management of the club, supervision, I think oversight mostly. So I don't think I'll be too busy to be here. I'm only privileged. I would be privileged to offer more. And in my capacity, I believe I can deliver, just like I have delivered previously.
Thank you, Lady Captain. I think that will be it from this desk. We wish you all the best. Tomorrow, if you get elected, we take it from you that you will serve the members of Kiambu Club in the best way that you can. Thank you very much and have a good evening.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Can we have our member Ibrahim Wagambi to surrender the host back to club debate user? He's somewhere, but he's switching us off for the members who are. He's not at the club. He's at home or somewhere. He's switching people off and those kind of things who are online. So, Mr. Mugambi, wherever you are, please surrender that hosting. Is our Kamago. You know, there's always Kamago in everything. Thank you. May we have the contestants for the vice captain's position? And I'll call them by name and how they were.
It's okay, contestants, you can sit. We will just want to introduce you officially, but since you know yourself, you can sit in the meantime. Okay. So So position of vice captain, we have William Mugwema, proposed by Lennox Mutua, seconded by Franklin Mugendi. And then the second contestant is Chris Kimani, proposed by Chris Kiet. Chris Kieu. Looks like a double T, but it's actually a U. So proposed by Chris Kieu and seconded by Mboro Kimani. So welcome, gentlemen. Because Chris proposed one of you, so I'll run with the whole question and answer. Just to avoid many thoughts. So, Mugwema, you are next to the microphone. I want to give you 2 minutes. Tell us who you are and tell us if you have previously served in any position in the club and what you felt about that commitment.
Mike. Okay, yeah.
Thank you, moderator. Good evening, members. William Ogwema is my name. I'm a banker. I've been a member of this club for 10 years now. I'm also a member of Sigona Golf Club. I'm also a member of Nyahururu Golf Club. I'm more committed to this club because this is where I play more. What I want to do for this club, first is to support the captain on course development and maintenance. Number 2, I am passionate about the junior golf. I'm sure majority of you have seen my kids here and my participation. The other thing is just to ensure that as a club, we improve our image and make sure that we get good sponsorships that we can be able to sustain. I've been a director in this club for the last 1 year. While a director, I've been a member of the golfing committee. We've done quite a number of things on the course, together with the team, supporting the captain and the board. I've also been a member of the hospitality committee. We've done quite a bit in terms of improving the service of this club, improving the menu, and just making sure that we have a staff complement that is ready and not too expensive, as in just making sure that things are in order and the members get a good experience. Thank you.
Chris?
Thank you, the moderators, our senior chairs. Thank you, members, and my name is Chris Kimani, and I feel like I have quite huge shoes to fill. For the past people who have been here, they have mentioned about the past experiences and what they have done for the club, and I'm a very youthful person who has grown in this club. I've learned so much through being in, call them my fathers, who have even guided me in their career. So other than that, let me just tell you a bit of myself. I'm an economist by profession. I've been very much 12 years for an international organization, which some of you may know about it. It's UNEP. I've been a grant been left for the captain to do in this club. One being development of the club activities require money. What am I good at? I'm good at resource mobilization. I'm good at raising money. And that is one of the things to bring on board. I have...
Chris, would you like to have a problem? If you do, don't worry about it. You don't have to. You can tell us your age.
I can say, yes, I'm very young, but I fit the bill to bring value and to bring...
Chris, we know at clinics, his kids come. And we know the only way he has kids is because he's married. Chris, are you married?
Jenny, for the past 11 years, I have 3 girls, all of whom were born on the same day as me, my second born. So as far as commitment and family...
Yeah. I gave you an opportunity not to say, but do I say, well done, a husband or a wife. But there's nothing wrong with having 1 or 2. Well done too that your wife is called Sheila. So is my wife. She's called Sheila. I married her 11 years ago. So we did it around the same time. Now, I want to pose a question to the 2 of you. 1 minute or 2 minutes to respond. To be electing vice captains. So I don't know how it was done. It doesn't matter because I'm not the only member of this club. The people who did it thought it was the best thing to do. Now, so ideally, you come in as a vice captain to assist the captain. So the captain is the boss in golf, right? So you are coming to assist the captain. Hopefully successfully. And then so be it. What would you do to support the captain? The one next to the microphone.
Thank you. I would make sure that I align my objectives with the captain, and just to make sure that what the captain plans to do, we have regular engagements in value to what the captain would want to do. But I would want us to work as a team. In addition to that, I also, when I joined this club 10 years ago, I found the position of vice captain being an elective position and a board position. Probably not now because no motion has been moved, but in future, I would suggest that the vice captain probably be appointed by the captain, because our working relationship is very, very important. Alternatively, if...
I thank you for that question. Can cut across 10 to 20 members. So one person is actually representing 20 plus members on a small issue that can be trivial. Now, if those things can be brought to the board through the captain, guess what? An action point is raised and we can be able to achieve a certain solution to it. So for me, from the question that you have asked as my seniors, is that most of the issues that have been raised in this club, it might surprise even so many people that the previous plans are never adopted to the current board. Can we even have that connectivity between the past and the present? Because that is the only way we won't try to reinvent the wheel. We'll just keep on running the wheel, look for the better solutions, will make each and every person comfortable and also patronize with this club. Back to you.
Thank you. Chris? answers. I will just try to see if members can just be a little more patient. We're just about to finish. Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow members, so I want to retire these vice captain contestants, but I would like to ask you a question before I do that. Both of them are relatively young. You have heard their presentation. Do you believe, like I do, that Kenya has a chance in the future? Thank you very much. I am very impressed by the two of you. Very well done. Give them a clap.
Thank you for the vote of confidence. Thank you for the vote of confidence.
So, Chris, we just wanted to know what's your handicap?
So my index is currently just below 14. So here I play off 15.
Okay, where is your handicap based?
It is now domiciled here in Kiambu Golf Club.
Okay.
Yes.
Mugwema, what's your handicap?
My handicap is index is 13.6. I'm playing 15.
15. Both of you are playing 15.
Yes.
Where is your handicap domiciled?
My handicap is domiciled at Sigona.
Why?
Because so I'm playing here most of my golf, so I plan to move my handicap.
Been a member for 10 years. Did you say 10 years?
Yep.
So when are you moving your handicap? Because we don't want our captain, our vice captain, to have his handicap in another club. It's almost embarrassing.
It's okay. It will move at the end of the year because you can appreciate the payment to KGU are done annually, so I can't move it mid-year. I'll move it at the end of the year.
But you're a banker. Moving a handicap is 1,000 bob.
It's okay, I'll do.
Take your seats. Last, I think 2. It's 9:30. I won't let you go just before 10 o'clock. That's the plan. So we want to do the treasurer contestant. It's a little bit more like a biscuit, so it will take a short while. Treasurer contestant. Alvin Gakere, Ondieki, and seconded by Francis Gakuo. Do you want us to give you a minute?
Security, the finance, the accounting part and finance part of this club. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Leonard. I think for the interest of time and we want to listen to our directors, we will not ask you any questions, and we wish you well with your other contestants. I think we need to make a decision which we have made. I think we need to make a decision which we have made. So we'll proceed to the directors contestants. The directors contestants. So there are 6 of them. I want to call. So Lennox Mutua, proposed by Maiko Nyangi, seconded by Wanjiku Thomas Kemari. Francis Gakuo, proposed by MK Moora, seconded by Maiko Wandegwa. Jogona Kemani, proposed by William Mugwema, seconded by David Dirango. By Hilda Maina. And lastly, DG Wambogo, proposed by Steve Guandaro and seconded by Nahashon Boro. Order members. Leadership is all about commitment. So if he doesn't want to come here, you don't need to keep saying he's at the counter. Okay, so let's proceed. DG Wabu. Yeah. Okay, so we want to do this differently. So we will not ask you any questions. So we want to give you an opportunity to say who you are, what. So come all those things.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Francis Gedua Gakuo, better known as Gakuo Special, or Gakuo's Koroga Special at Kiambu. Similar to this one. It's actually called the Club of the Lords. It's Jerome, served there, went to harvest wheat, do agricultural farming. Then those who are there noted that I have something. There is something about me. I am passionate about serving people. That's number one. Number two, I've been in the hospitality industry, as you have seen on my CV, for the last 26 years. I love fine dining. For those of you who know, a steak that is medium to well, an egg that is sunny side up, hakuna. Hii hatukuambiwa hakuna. Every time I sit at that bar, I see a target of 2.5 million shillings every month on the minimum. Number three, the Rage Bar, which if I'm elected, on Google, you can go to Footballers Club. It has the logo is a golf ball. And I'm God willing, I'm planning to open another one called the 19th. So, but I'll be looking for views anyway from fellow golfers so that we can be very committed to members after a round of golf. So, you know what? You know, for those of us who are still in those handicaps of pickups, come on, maybe Nico handicap 22. The last thing, like for those of us who are not married, that we may choose a golf. We don't want to have members who will go. So therefore, in short, and I'm sorry because this is taking long, mine is very simple. Number one, there is a chairman who has a vision. There is a captain and a vice chairman. All of them have visions. There's a strategic plan for the club again. And then there are the members. So mine will be very simple, as you've seen around. Cool. The bar, for example, we have top drinks. I get my 18 years anytime I want. So I cannot say that the board has...
You still a member or not?
Yes, I am still a member.
You're still a member?
Yes,
active member?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Give the mic to Rohoi.
It's a unique pleasure to be the last to speak in such an engaging forum. But it's both the 90% of the golfers. Of course, there's a 10% that will give us a big dividend once all the renovations and the strategic plan agenda is yielded. So for me, will be to offer that anchor between the old and the new. Of course, I have very little legacy knowledge that I will chairman and captaincy positions. If elected, mine will be to anchor. Time is very much gone. So for those who have had an honor to play with me, a round of golf with me for the 18 holes, I'll quote P.G. Woodhouse, who says that to find a man's true character, play golf with him. And I believe those who have played golf with me know my character. Those who are yet to play golf with me, the slots are open to book the interview. Thank you so much.
Well done. Before we go to Lennox, I'd like to ask Henry, which other game do you play other than golf?
So thank you. So in high school,
as a youth,
as a youth. So in those youthful years, I started off in rugby. So I ended up being I had a scrum half in one of the national schools. So I transitioned off to basketball, where at the helm of basketball, I was the captain who took the team to the Premier League. So despite my challenged height, I've managed to play basketball. I think handball, I'm a sportish person, so that's what I cherish. So yeah.
Thank you very much. It's nice to see you keeping the spirit going. Those who don't know, his dad, S.R. Chege, was a past captain of Kiambu Golf Club. There's a time he was Kenya 1. He used to play off 0, 1 handicap. He was taller than his son. He used to hit his golf ball miles away. Like the sun. Oh, like the sun. Oh.
It's modest.
So it's good to see you around.
Pleasure.
We value what your dad contributed to the game of golf. Please pass our regards to your mom.
I will.
He came here a lot with her and you.
Yeah.
And we appreciate that those people who were there before for the contribution that they have done for Kiambu Golf Club. So thank you very much to your family.
So interestingly, Chair, she's recently embarked on golf, so she'll be arriving here on Friday evening. So I'll bring her for a round of golf, hopefully next week.
Yeah, do so. I'm sure she will cherish the memory.
Thank you so much, Chair. Thank you.
Lennox.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Lennox Mtua, and I'm a member of this club. I joined in the year 2010, and mine is a family membership. That tells you I'm a family man. I'm a certified accountant, having practiced for 10 years. Currently running my own farm, selling shipping containers and doing conversions for the last 16 years.
Conversions of accounts?
No, conversions of shipping containers. I actually not practicing anymore in accounts. Yes, so basically I am one of those people who are seated here who are currently sitting in the board. And by that, definitely I'll need to answer on what are my key achievements, on what I have done in my last year. First, I would like to humbly thank you, all members, for having chosen me to be of service to you in the last 1 year. It's great lessons that I've learned over the period. And the key achievements that I have done for me is successfully pushing for a marketing team that has been able to assist the club in opening up avenues for the club to increase our revenues through advertisements, corporate sponsorship, and CSR activities beneficial to the club. So this is one of my key elements that I really need to work on, because I know most of the board, what they do is coming up with projects, and I just need to come up with a system that plugs in to that avenue and create a system of funding those projects. And that's why I see Kiambu Club has a potential of providing.
Kiambu Golf Club, attending members. As you heard, my name is Jogona Kemani. People call me Soldier because I have served in the Kenya Air Force. And after retiring, I started my own business. I do tours and travel. I also pack water.
Being signed up, and that was like very good support, and we really appreciate that from the members. And we have another clinic that's actually underway for this month of December, And so far, I think we have like over 30 kids who are already signed up. So I think there's a huge RNGC team, which represents Kiambu Club in the KLGU events. And so far, my experience has been good. Besides that, I'm employed. I've been working in Metropolitan Circle since the year 2010. Has helped me to become more adaptable and even to implement any of the strategic plans that's already in place. Yeah, through that. And I can say I'm passionate about, I'm happy I had three of the the three people that were contesting for the seat of the chairman. They were all about modernizing this club. And I can tell you that's the future. As much as my friend here feels maybe we want to do away with the older generation, but I am for having a space that can accommodate everyone. Even as we will grow old, our kids will grow in this space, and we will also retire in this club. So let us just be accommodative. When the kids come here, they also have a space that they can go and they have their activities without interfering with the adult sections. The older gentlemen, when they come, they also feel they have a space they can be themselves without being interfered with. So this club has a long way to go. I recently invited a friend, and believe me, when they came and they just said, I think this club, I can bet you this club is the way the Mubeberu left it. And it's true. So we need to take up the challenge. The time is now, and everybody is thinking that way. So we just need to mobilize the funds. There's a strategic plan in place, and everybody is on board with that. So it's just about mobilizing and taking this club to international standards, and we will realize more patronage, more spending by family. In fact, you'll be pushing them away and say, oh, you come next year. The list is full for this year. The captain will not have to beg anybody to come here and do the sponsoring. That's where we want to take this club. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Kesho naomba kura zenu ndio tuendelee kufanya hii kazi ya hii club. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, all of you. Brenda, just for clarity, you said you work for Metropolitan Circle. What do you do for them?
I have.
We want to thank the 5 of you for. Excuse me, we just be elected. You have your work cut out. Those who will not be, join me and Chris, as just being normal members. It's okay, you won't get hurt. Thank you for agreeing to serve. It's a difficult job. We have continued to introduce new members because in the years that have passed, 20 and so on, we used to have a very dull club. We never used to have ladies dressed like Lady Captain Kanyi. We need to progress Kiambu. Do you agree with me? Let's move on and let's make this club a great. I would like to thank the and members think that we did what we were supposed to have done. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. All the best to the candidates tomorrow.